Welcome back. The viewers have voted, I have responded, and so I am here in the city of Hay Springs in Nebraska. I'm going to cover the entire map with a single crop, harvest that crop, and see just how many millions we can make. Strap in, put your hard hat on, because the chaos is about to begin. Well, thank you for joining me yet again for another experiment, and we are here in the lovely city of Hay Springs in Nebraska. If you're interested, the map is called Green Valley, Nebraska. It's a 4x map, so a decent size, and I am going to be ploughing, cultivating, seeding, harvesting, and generally creating chaos in every single one of the fields on this map. Before I do that, I just want to have a look around because this map is absolutely gorgeous. There's so much attention to detail, and it's the sort of map I would love to actually do a proper series on. So hit subscribe, as something may well be coming in the very near future. So let's just have a quick overview of everything. I'm currently down here in Hay Springs in this bottom little area. Now that's one town in the whole of this Green Valley map. We have Rushville, and we have the Valley Ranch, and we have Ashley Farms. There's other stuff going on, the bulk supply, the shop up here, and we've got what looks like Fall Oaks. I can't quite see the text there. Lots of access through some main highways. This lovely road down here has got a nice wiggle on it. I've got a feeling I'm going to be getting a fast vehicle and giving that a go later on. It then comes across here over this bridge, and that is a lovely looking viaduct. There's a lovely forestry area up the top, if forestry is your bag. And zooming in down in the bottom left corner, there's an even bigger area here. Now, I will plead my ignorance and say that I don't know very much about Nebraska at all. So I couldn't say whether this is representative or accurate. And of course, there are certain models and buildings that are just generic in the game, but the overall feel is quite authentic. We have Redford Park over here, our baseball stadium. Fancy a game of cricket, anyone? And dotted around this lovely little town are various little industries amongst all the residents' houses. I'm going to head out past Mackie D's here on the right hand side, and we'll head north and just have a look at the other towns just to get an idea of the feel of the place. And then I'll locate the store and go and look at some equipment. I love the fact the roads go over this stream in various locations on the map. Various farms and homesteads dotted around. Speeding up towards the top right hand corner northeast, and we are now at the town of Rushville. Slightly different feel about it, but still a lovely place. I just love the way it's been laid out. Great work here. The devs have done a fantastic piece of work. There's a Mexican restaurant there if you fancy a bit of tapas. Loving the vehicle models that are dotted around the map as well. They generally feel authentic. We've got ourselves a post office so we can write letters. There's a dairy, ice cream, a salad bar, a garden centre, the Maplefield Bank. Oh, goodness me, an arcade. I love an arcade. But in all fairness, I love barbecue ribs even more. And we can strike the night out with bowling after we've fed our faces at the barbecue. But we are not here for entertainment, ladies and gentlemen. We have science to get on with. Or what I call a loose approximation of science. We have an experiment to do. So with the aim of trying to keep this video within an hour this time, I am just coming up on the store on the left hand side. I'll go get myself ensconced inside, bring up the HUD, see what's available, make a plan and get things underway. Oh, look at these Case tractors. Oh yes, oh yes. Happy crimson. There's a whole load of bobcats over there as well by the looks of it. Yeah, bobcat, skid steer front loaders, give or take. Fantastic. Well, let's go see the proprietor and get ourselves some equipment. Straight off the bat, this is going to be slightly different to the previous experiments, mostly because I am sticking to the fields. Now, that may feel like it's going to be easier, but that means I'm having to tend to 37 individual fields. And as I just drag the map around my mouse here, you will see that they are very much a variation of shapes and sizes And I don't think, oh, there you go, there's one. I was going to say, I don't think there's a single square one around, but 10 and 12 are okay. Everything else seems to have curves, chunks taken out of them. I mean, do you know what? I would have just cut down there, wouldn't you, if you were the farmer? But hey ho, this is what makes it challenging. This is what makes it interesting. So the question is, what do I do? Do I just keep to the previous method of just picking 6, 7, maybe 8 actual workers, send them out into the wild and hope they can achieve their goals? I will be using Courseplay, literally the only way I can do this without driving myself completely insane, but I am umming and ahhing over whether or not I stick to that half-dozen team and just move them around the map, or whether I actually allocate someone to each and every individual field. That's going to mean 37 lots of equipment, but will it mean it's 37 times quicker? And that is exactly what experiments are for, ladies and gentlemen. So back in the map, I'm just having a look at the various field states. Let me go across to composition. Yeah, okay, there we go. Loaded itself in. Some of them are going to need lime. Not every single one of them is going to need fertilizer. Some of them need rolling. Some of them need ploughing. And this is the scenario which is going to make this experiment that much more complex. Yes, I need to keep my wits about me, and as we know, I have a finite bag of wits that I carry around with me, and quite often I run out of the damn things halfway through the experiment. This time, I want to make sure I start off smoothly. The other ones I haven't. We all know it turns out to be an absolute nightmare. So, I'm working on the 6 P's for this experiment. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Problem is, I don't really know where to start. I think it makes total sense just to clear off some of these and just have a look at the map, work our way up. So fertilization, we could go and do early doors. Equally, when we seed these fields, when we plant them, I'll just make sure I have a planter that administers fertilizer at the same time. So that's not a major concern. As long as everything has got at least one stage of fertilizer before we drill, fantastic job. Centering the map and looking at what needs ploughing, we've only got 3 fields. And in all fairness, most of these will need cultivating. Those of you who have been around for the previous experiments know I have the perfect tool for the job when it comes to cultivating fields and getting that ploughed state. So what I will do is make sure we go up, hit field number 1 first, make sure that actually works, because I don't think previously we had any needed ploughing states. So just going to check that. And then we know that we can do pretty much the entire map, bar those fields which are already ready. Already ready? Ready, ready, ready. And then we can crack on with the next step, which is lime. Presently, it says nothing needs rolling. However, I have been missing out on 2% yield on the previous experiments because I think I need to give it that final roll. Now, I am getting rolled state when I'm using that specialist cultivator, because you can swap out the tines on the back, stick the rollers on, and it gives you that state. But then obviously you have to seed it. And I think the best thing then is to do the light roll over the top to press that seed into the ground. One of my fantastic farming fans conscientiously contributed a considered comment highlighting that was the reason why I may have been missing that extra 2%. So this time round, I am going to have to get myself a big roller and make sure these fields get that rolling. Okay, let's go shopping. What a lovely, lovely showroom. Let me just go see what they've got on the shelves. Pretty much everything we'd ever need. Angle grinders, extension leads, generators, extra axles, PTOs. Ooh, here's a question. Put it in the comments below. Pepsi or Coca-Cola? That's a divisive query. I have a propensity for big tractors, and that's always been my default position, but I think I'm going to go a little bit more strategic this time. Yes, there will be some big ones. There'll be the 9Rs and there'll maybe probably be the fast tracks, but I'm actually thinking about dropping down to some medium-sized ones because there are some smaller fields out there, and I've just got a feeling some of the big equipment and the very wide equipment really might struggle if all I've got is massive tractors and massive cultivators and seeders. The majority will be fine, but ones like this little 16 over here, 24, 20, even 21, that's really quite thin, almost phallic, what other YouTubers may call the strongest shape. So there's every opportunity to go for something not quite so crazy big that will just be able to navigate those fields just a little bit more easily. And if it means I get to purchase a Fast Track Icon 4000, oh, then yes, I will. So while I'm waiting for a sales rep to appear, I'm going to hit my high score on Turbo Arcade DX, and I'll bring you back once I've made my initial purchases. Well, this is what I have picked up. I've picked up the Voucher Q305 and the Dutzfar 8280 TTV, 305 and 287 horsepower respectively. Then in the large tractor range, I've gone for the Case Steiger 620, one of my favourites, the New Holland T9 700, the John Deere 9R 9620, probably my favourite FS22 large base gain tractor, the Xeron 5000 Anniversary Edition, and I've topped off with a couple of beautiful mods. The Challenger 1050, the JCB Fast Track 8330, Icon, and of course, last but not least, you have to go with a big bud, but this is the S3 large frame variant. There is a lot of horsepower there, 692 for the Case, 692 for the T9, 670 for the 9R, 530 for the Class Xeron, 515 for the Challenger 1050, Amiga 348 for the Fast Track 8330, and a cool 600 for the S3. Now, I would absolutely consider the Fast Track to be a medium-sized tractor compared to the big ones that I've picked up, and that's why I've got that down here with these small little versions. These guys will be managing those tiny fields I mentioned earlier on, but then swinging the camera around, we've got the fan favourites, the Class, the T9, the 9R, and then finishing off with the big bud, the Case, and hidden at the end here, the Challenger. So with a platoon of vehicles at the ready, I'm going to head over Green Valley Ranch and get some fields underway. Phase 1 field preparation is ready to get underway. I'm just getting everyone aligned on fields 8 and 9. These are the two that need ploughing, so I'll get the boys out and we'll get that done straight away. Now, I'm going to use Courseplay and I'm actually going to set it up so that we've got 3 per field. I haven't done this for the last couple of experiments. I did do it in the very first No Man's Land experiment and it worked with, well, varying degrees of success. So I'll be interested to see how well this works with these massive, massive cultivators. Now this field does look pretty much ready to go. It's a bit of a shame that we have to plough it, but that is what it is. I want to maximise the yield on every field, so I'm going to have to follow what needs doing. So very quickly then, with the John Deere 9R selected, I'm going to create a job. I'm going to jump into Courseplay, select the field, open the generator. Right, we want to do this with 3 tools. And I think probably all we need is 1 headland. They're pretty wide. This is going to need to be sharp. I've got a feeling that's going to cause issues. We've got a lot of curves you can see just behind the interface here, but I need to make sure that we stick to those as close as possible. So sharp is the way forward. Clockwise, 12% with a bit of overlap, and then we'll do the up and downs. Let's go and generate that course. Perfect, that's generated. 1 pass around, then a few ups and downs. That's great. I'm going to go save this, apply it to the other 2 chaps, and get everyone underway. Okay, I'm set. So I'm going to put first waypoint on. Given that he's out on the right-hand side, he's going to be right one. Get the Xeron started up. Then I'm going to set that to first waypoint. Yes, and we want this to be center. And finally, the Challenger third. Set this one to first. He is going to be set on the left as it was. Just turn off this interface and they should be ready to go. And there we go, field 9 is underway. We got 3 team members out in the field and they are ploughing to their heart's content. I'm just going to head down to the next set of 3 just south of Green Valley Ranch and we'll get those chaps underway as well. For the second team, we've got the New Holland, the Big Bud and the Case. So let's get the New Holland all queued up and ready to go first and foremost. I've specifically not gone for the double tyres this time round. I wanted something different, and I just want to make sure that the turning on a map like this with lots of wiggly fields is the best it can absolutely be, and sometimes double or twin tyres can cause a bit of a turning circle issue. And the team are off. 1, 2 and 3, red, white and blue. The big bud's just waiting for the case to get a move on. The case is off. And the big bud is off as well. Now, I wonder what's going on with the Challenger. That's not looking promising. Let's go and take a look. Well, it looks like the driver has bailed. Absolutely no idea where he's got to. So I'm going to have to take the reins on this one and just get him back on track. And there we go. Not entirely sure what happened there. I wonder if the Cultivator just got stuck on the lip of the field. The Challenger isn't the most powerful one here, and these do require 500 horsepower to pull. So I don't know. I'm just going to have to keep an eye on things there. Bit of queuing up going on here, and I have seen this before. The problem is these cultivators are so wide and they always want to back up and get into position that everyone just has to wait while the guy in front does what he needs to do. Bit of slippage there, I must say. Maybe that's something these chaps are experiencing. Maybe twin tyres with this 500 horsepower cultivator is actually recommended. The smartest farmer in history is behind the big bud. Little bit of a disco jiggle there. I like his style. I like his style. Now, I haven't actually discussed with you what it is we're going to be planting as a crop here. We are in Nebraska. It is the Cornhusker State. There was only ever going to be one option, and that's corn. It does mean that I can't use my favoured T440 mod, and I will have to look at a specific harvester with speed and capacity, and I think there's only really one option, and that is the Colossus pack. And those of you out there who just want the results, you're correct. I could just use the easy dev tools, set every field to cultivated and ploughed, even drop a crop in there and get straight to the harvesting. But certainly for me, and I'm hoping for you, part of the fun of these videos is actually to experience the chaos that goes on when you attempt a challenge like this. And where possible, I try and keep things relatively realistic. I don't go for the crazy all-out 50, 100 metre wide cultivators and harvesters. Courseplay and a little bit of careful planning is all I need to make this entertaining. However, entertaining it is not when Courseplay fails and leaves you stranded. Now, it appears, quite surprisingly, that we don't have the power, or rather I should say we don't have the traction to get these up the hills. On previous experience I've gone around and I've purposely flattened the map for these massive cultivators. I haven't done that here. I wanted to keep it fairly realistic. But we are binding here on this massive hummock, so I'm going to do this one manually and then get him back on course. Come on, bite, bite. I kind of wish I went for the twin tyres now. There we go, there we go. Bit of crimson power's all you need. Well, I just jumped across to the Challenger to see how things are going on, and all three of the chaps are done. I can't believe it. And there we go, field 9 is done, and now we just need to lime it. However, I've just had a warning come up, and I think we've got a collision issue. I suspect they've got caught up with their cultivators. Yes, there we go. A full-on smash. Let me get this sorted out, and we can get this field finished. I need to get some of the smaller chaps down here with some lime. Now, if I go into the map and I turn off the lime and then I go and turn off stones as well, what you will see, and what we have seen time and time again, is that there are these little bits that get missed. And that's why I set the overlap up to 11, 12%. I think even maybe 14 might be the figure I need to go for. This time round, I'm not going to worry about going round and fixing these, because actually that's what takes hours and hours of off-camera work, and on the whole I'm kind of happy with what we're going to get at the end of it. So I'll get the Challenger off the field. I'm not going to worry about those little bits we see in the corners, and then we'll start to think about the next step. I've got a horrible feeling that the crash we saw earlier has caused a bit of disruption in the method, so I may have to go back and reset some of these. So I've got these smaller guys, which we will start to utilise shortly when we go and cultivate some smaller fields and obviously dealing with other things such as seeding, so on and so forth. I had planned to buy a whole bunch of spreaders and get the tractors to do the spreading this time rather than trucks and trailers. I just wanted to do something a little bit different to what I've done in the previous experiments. I do like to keep things fresh though. It keeps me interested, it keeps you interested, and it just makes every experiment just that bit unique. So this time around, I'm going to have a look at the Case Titan Floater Pack. The Titan 3000 floater looks quite unique. I don't actually know what the term floater means. Is it the size of the tyres, or is it because the hopper floats above the ground? I don't know. Someone leave a comment. Teach me. 3040 comes with 340 horsepower, but we can up that to the 3540, which is 410. But why settle there when we can go even bigger with the Titan 4000 floater? The 4040 with 340 again, and the 4540 with 410. Then back out into the main menu, we have three different types of system. We have the FA810 Air Boom, which will take lime, seed and fertilizer up to 15,000 litres. You can have a double tank with the cover crop seed spreading, but that means the overall capacity drops down to 11,000. We have the 610 liquid system, which is akin to a sprayer, 7,500 litres. And the biggest one of all, the L4000G4. With the big extension, that'll take 18,000 litres. The G4 only does lime and solid fertiliser, whereas the FA810 will also do a cover crop, but I'm not interested in that at all. A 28 metre width for the sprayer versus 28 metres for the spreader means we have a like for like, but I think the spreader just pips it in terms of top speed. The sprayer will do 15 miles an hour, but the spreader will do 18. So I think it's going to be the L4000G4, and I might as well go with a collection of both the 3000 and the 4000 floaters. And there we go, take a look at that lot, 4 of each with 8 hoppers. That should give me more than enough to get things underway. Each one numbered 1 to 4 so I can keep track. All I've got to do is hook on these big spreaders and we're ready to get going. Not bad in here at all. First time I've used anything like this. Can't wait. I do love looking at the row of vehicles either side. We are super busy. Right, let me get myself out and aligned into position. A little bit more. There we go. Wow. Well, that's it. It is on. That didn't take long at all, did it? I'm inside the first of the 3000 series. I'm assuming 3000 for 3 wheels and 4000 for 4 wheels. Someone who works at Case, let me know. But let's get these hooked up. There's one more hopper over there, so I'm going to squeeze myself out, get myself over into that position, get that hooked up, and then we're going to go in convoy to the fields. I'm all ready, everything is loaded up with solid fertilizer and we're ready to ship out. So we need to hit every single field that doesn't have at least stage 1 of fertilizer. So that's going to be field 1, 9, 8, 11, 22, any more at the bottom, and 26. There we go. A total of 6 fields. Now we've got 8 of us in convoy and that's absolutely fine. I just want to see how this works. So I'm going to drive out of here, do a right, go up here, head to field 1 up the top, drop off the rear guard, come all the way back down again, drop off 9 and 8, and then work our way across the map to the different locations. Here I am in the lead vehicle, so let's get underway. Right, there we go. We have hit the first field we need to drop off. So the rear guard, he can stay here and get this field underway, and I shall push on across the map. Courseplay mapped in for spreading field 1, and he is underway. Or should I say, she. And off we go. Pick up with me, boys. I'm off. Heading out to fields 8 and 9 that we've just ploughed. They definitely need attending to. I've decided for the size of field 9 that I'm going to actually ship out 2 guys here. They'll get this done much quicker. The rest of the fields aren't quite so big. I think I'll stick 2 on field 8 and the others can just go solo. Right, let's get the rest of these boys then down to field 8. Solid progress on field 1, almost done. The pair on field 9 are chewing through that one. Working as a pair definitely makes a difference, and I'm hoping we'll see the same results on field 8. I fired a chap down to field 26 and he's almost done. So I'm going to head over to the bulk supply with the last couple and get field 22 and field 11 underway, and then everything on the map should have stage 1 fertiliser. Field 1 is finished, so I'm going to get everyone regrouped and make a plan for the next stage. I found him! I found Bandana John! He's in a wheat field! 6 vehicles finished, 2 still running on field 11 and over here on field 8. While that's happening, I'm just getting everyone set up for the next phase, which is lime. So I've got a chap over here on field 5, 1 over here on field 10, 1 ready to hit field 14, 1 over here on field 16, 1 down here on field 35, and I think I've got 1 more over here ready to hit 9. Once this chap's finished, he can handle field 8, and then field 11 can probably come down to 35. That just leaves an allocation for fields 28 and 38 near the bottom. Bandana John pushing on as ever. Using that full 30 miles an hour to spread that fertiliser. Just waiting on you now, John. He's almost done. It won't be long. And he's done. Instantly disappeared. That's how efficient he is. Every field now has at least stage 1 of fertilizer, which means when we come to plant our seed and get that corn in the ground, I will be able to get everything maxed out at level 2. We've got 10 fields that need lime and we've got 8 vehicles. So fields 28 and 38, as I mentioned before, we'll deal with those after. Everyone's queued up and ready to go. But first we need to map out those fields that need cultivating and get the big boys out into the soil. Looking at the growth map, pretty much everything is growing. Some of the fields are ready for harvest, so 5, 11, 18 and 27. Only 2 are showing any signs of being ready, i.e. they're in a ploughed state, and we have that as field 1 and 17. And across the entire map, only 3 are actually cultivated. 34, 26, which we've just stuck some fertilizer in, and 29. So I'm going to have to take the team across the breadth of the map and get everything ripped up. We don't want any crops, we want plain, flat, cultivated fields ready to take seed. So this is what we hope the map will look like by the time we're all finished. I'll get each one of these guys into position on a field, get everything underway, and then I think it's time for a montage. Hello ladies, it's time to get you out in the field. Got some medium-sized cultivators for these 3 lovely ladies so they can help the operation. So I'd better get them all hooked up. The Lemkin is going on the JCB because that's got just a little bit more power. While the Valtra and the Dutes Far have the Prolander 7500s. Everyone's in position. Fields 1 to 11 are about to commence. Let's get it underway. making fantastic progress. Fields 1, 2, 4, 6, 9 and 8 are already done. The two medium-sized tractors with the Proliner cultivators are leaving a stubble tillage state, whereas everything else is coming out as a seedbed. I'd say at this stage I'm about a third of the way through, so I'm going to go and complete this off camera, and I'll see you back here once everything is complete. Just before I jump away, I did notice something when I was looking at the map here. Those fields which do have a crop in, they seem to give cover crop effect, and I am getting a stage 2 of fertilisation. Now I didn't know that. My assumption was that you need to put radish in, and that's really the only crop that will give you that effect. But we're certainly seeing it on field 11, 13 and 3, and they all have completely different crops. With that said then, and by the time we get to the end, we may find that most of the fields here are actually 2-staged fertilised. Likelihood is I'm still going to be using a planter that adds fertiliser anyway, but at least that's something I've learnt during this process. I may have got to the limit of Courseplay. Everything has gone awry. I've got a couple of vehicles that are literally just going round in circles. I have no idea why. Some of them just won't pick up the course. Some of them just start and then stop. I think it's time for a reboot. The big bud is activated, but for some reason has just come to a complete standstill. The Challenger has run off the edge of the field and stopped. John Deere's still going though, that's good news. But the New Holland, like his Case compatriot, is just going round in circles. Absolutely no idea what's going on. Thankfully, it looks like the class is still working hard and should be finished on this field, field 25, anytime soon. The JCB's just put himself into the bushes again. Why? And the Dirt's Far, well, he's run off the edge of the field, hit a pole and given up as well. I think I need a reboot, ladies and gentlemen, and most likely a JD and Coke. Now that, I would say, is a job done. Everything is looking pretty clear. I'm just having a quick scan through. Field 28 and 39 are just finishing off, but everyone else is done and they're starting to congregate around the middle of the map. I think it's time we start to get some of the lime guys out, get those fields dealt with. We're getting there. We're almost ready to plant. And my plan in terms of fertiliser has worked out an absolute treat. Now, as I said, I didn't know that actually you will get a second stage of fertilisation when you churn a crop in. I just assumed that worked only for the radish, but we are there. We've got 1, 9, 8 and 34, 16 and then 26 down here. Those are the only ones that need that second stage. Everything else is fine as it is. We'll load in the lime menu and we can see all the fields that we need to get on with. So we might as well start off. We've got 5, he's ready to go. We've got 1 over here, 9, you can see he's ready. I'm going to get these guys underway and we'll have the lime done in a jiffy. Job done. All the liming is complete. Everything is fertilised at least to stage 1. Everything is ploughed and cultivated. That is the end of the preparation phase. I'm super chuffed with that. That's gone the smoothest I've ever done in an experiment. So really happy. The fleet is all here. We're all here in convoy and ready to head back to the store. It's time to go pick up some planters and get the crop in the ground. Just have a look at all this equipment. Lovely, lovely tractors. Oh, these guys have done a fantastic job so far. I cannot knock the effort. And I'd say on the whole, we haven't had any issues. We've had some Courseplay issues, but we haven't had any machinery faults, which is wonderful. These are the planters I'm going to be using. I have used them multiple times. They are a fantastic mod. I can't find anything better. If there is a seeder out there which has a really good width, does multiple crops, and will also fertilise them, please drop a comment and I will give it a go in the next episode. Walking alongside these, I've just realised how big these cultivators are. They are absolutely mammoth in size. Look at these things. It's no wonder you need 500 horsepower just to pull them through the soil. And at the end we've got the blue lambkin and the 2 red Prolanders. The map is looking fantastic. Nothing needs lime, nothing needs ploughing. All we've got to do now is get the crop in the ground and then roll it. Now I haven't done rolling before, so I will pop to the mod hub and see what's available, but everything seems to be going really smoothly. Am I counting my chickens before they've hatched? You know me, more than likely. There's still ample time for things to cock up. No time to lose. I best get everything hitched up and get out in them fields. Everything's colour coordinated, so I'm going to stick the John Deere on the John Deere green. Nice and easy. I wouldn't like to guess what it is I think I'm holding in my left hand there. Send your innuendos on a postcard. It's clearly long and cylindrical and invisible. Ah. Now I've got a problem. Which one is the JCB and which one is the Challenger? Because they are slightly different, and considering I work in branding, I really should be able to tell the two. I've gone for this one. It's correct. Slightly lighter tone of yellow. The JCB is ever so slightly a tinge more orange. However, finding the one for the big bud is pretty obvious. Bright white, can't miss it. Now the Dirt's Far here is the weakest tractor we have in the fleet, and I did panic a little minute ago because I hadn't checked the power required to pull these planters, but actually we're okay. We've got 287 here in the Dirt's Far and these require 250, so there's a little bit of overhead and that should be just what we need to get the job done. And last but not least, the little Valtra. Gotta say, this tractor is growing on me, it really is. And I've just put the Dirt's Far and I'm about to put this one out in fields 8 and 9, and they are not small. So these guys are going to show us what they're actually made of. There we are. We've got 1 on every single field. We've got the 9R on field 1, the Xeron on 2. We've got the Steiger 620, the case on field 3, the T9 700, the New Holland over on field 4. On field 5, we've got the Challenger. Field 6, we've got the Big Bud. Field 7, we've got the Fast Track. Field 8, we've got the Dutzfar 8210. And finally, we have the Q305, the Voucher on field 9. Everything's mapped in. I'll just click on a few so you can see. There we go. We have Courseplay maps all over the shop. I've just got to redo one, and for some reason I can't see the Challenger on the map. He's been beamed up by Scotty. I'm going to have to go find him in outer space. But before I go and locate the Challenger, I need to tweak the time. It's currently August, but we can't plant in August. Corn needs to go in the ground April and May, so I'm going to fudge the time, get us in the right month, and then we'll start drilling. And here we are in April, 11 AM. It's a kind of overcast day, but at least it's not raining. I need to stop talking. I've got to get seed in the ground. No need to panic, the Challenger was there all along. He just had his cloaking shields on, so I'm just going to put this down to 3 headlands, sharp, 14% overlap. That seems to be the sweet spot. Generate course field. As soon as that's done, 3, 2, 1, pink. There we go. Close that. Start job. And I'm going to go have a cup of tea. See you later. Excuse me, can I have a bit of privacy? I'm having a wee here. Tell you what, being followed around by these camera crew, there's absolutely no time to yourself. Right, let me get out of these trees because something has just stopped. Yes, I thought I'd heard it. The engine just shut off. I heard a voice say, "Sod this, I'm off." God knows what's going on. Doesn't appear to be anything wrong with the tractor. He got up to here and gave up. Right, he needs sacking. Let's get someone else in the hot seat and get the John Deere back on track. These guys are absolutely maxed out on speed. 25 miles an hour with a planter. My goodness. Everything's going really well. Lots of guys and girls out there in their tractors. The seedbed view is slowly disappearing as they get that crop in the ground. And if we go to crop types, we'll slowly see this turning orange as we work our way through all 39 fields. The Xeron on field 2 is taking a slightly different tack. I must have swapped something over when setting up the Courseplay map. I'm hoping that he's doing the ups and downs first and the headlands after, but if not, I may have to just start him off again. While everyone's out there drilling those fields and getting the corn in, I need to have a look at rollers. Now there are 2 in the base game, the PowerRoll 1230 HD, I don't know why it's high definition, but there we go, and the MegaRoll 2430. Both manufactured by Dalbo. The smaller one will do a working width of 12.3 meters, only needs 160 horsepower, so that's not even going to come onto our radar. The larger Dalbo MegaRoll will do up to 24.3 meters. But I'm just checking my mods because I'm sure I downloaded a roller, but it doesn't appear to be here. Class is almost done up on field 2. I'm curious to see what happens. I'll keep an eye on that and see if he does go off and do his headlands as he should. She's only got a tiny bit to do. I'm hoping she's not going to call it a day there, but she has. So I'll get the class out into position and then get it going again on those headlands. Once it's done that, then we can consider this field to be complete. My plan with the second stage fertiliser is working an absolute treat. So as you can see, fields 1, 9, 8, and there are a couple more around the bottom that are slowly being covered in second stage whilst they're being drilled. Now if I turn on the needs rolling option, I'm getting some strange patterns across the map. And this looks like where they're dropping or lifting the planter as they're doing their rows. Honestly have no idea what's going on with field 5. Who is that? Maybe his cloaking shields are causing a problem with the space-time continuum and it's ripping a hole in the field. I honestly don't know, but that isn't normal. The thing is, it beggars the question, do I actually need to roll these fields? I think only time will tell, and once everything is done, I'll come back, have a full assessment, and then make a final decision. I am starving while these guys are doing what they need to be doing. I am going to go grab a Big Mac. Well, I've fed my face and I am back looking at the rollers, and I've picked up 2 from the mod hub. The Amazon will do 6.6 meters wide at 11 miles an hour, and that's fine if you've got a small field, but this is a big experiment, so we've got to go big, and that just isn't going to cut it considering the base game has one which will do 12.3 meters. I think I'm going to have to look at the Lizard Mega Roll 2430 multi-roller. Now, fundamentally, this is exactly the same as the Dalbo Mega Roll that we looked at earlier. However, it does have a couple of extra features. So first of all, it will allow you to change the roller configuration. So this is set to field roller. We also have choices for grass rolling, and we also have a mulching roller. Of course, we want ours set to field, so we'll leave it as it is. We don't need to change the wheel brand, and there's no setup for wheels, and I'm happy just to leave the colour as it is. As you can see, this will do up to 15 miles an hour, so it's the same width as the base game, but it's that touch bit quicker. Now the rest of the guys are all out in the field still. They are just finishing off. I think we're on our last 6 or 7 fields. I will collect up the first tractor that becomes available and take this down there. It does require 350 horses, so the smaller tractors just won't cut it. But I think it's worth just giving it a go because I am still missing that 2% margin on our field states. I'm just having a look at the state of things. This is currently saying the yield bonus is 86%. Whoa! Just got out of the way of that, I reckon. As I was saying, yield bonus up. Now it's been fertilised, second stage fertiliser with the old planter there. 100% fertilised. It does say 98%, and it does say weeds are growing. So I just wonder whether or not that 2% is because I haven't put any herbicide down. But I don't think that's the case because I'm now on field 13, unlucky for some, and it still says 98% and I don't have any weeds here whatsoever. So I'm just going to turn on, we've got no weeds. We are fertilised 2 stages. It doesn't need ploughing, double check. It doesn't need lime, it doesn't say it needs rolling. And just for sanity's sake, I'm going to turn off absolutely everything else and it goes brown. So it doesn't need rolling. Where is this damn 2% I'm missing? Well, I honestly don't know. I'm going to have to ponder that as I go around these last few fields. No idea where that 2% is. I think I'm going to roll one. I'm going to get the roller. I've purchased it. I'm going to try it on one field and just see if it makes a difference. But otherwise, I'm at a real loss. So if someone's been watching along carefully, let me know your thoughts. I don't think it's rolling. Everything's fertilised. I don't know, this is a real head scratcher. But that aside, I am very close. I'm very close indeed. You can see the last few fields are just coming to fruition, pun intended. And we are virtually entirely orange, which is great. I'm going to wrap this up behind the scenes because I do want to get that roller out onto one of these fields and see if it makes any difference. The fast track is literally the last man in the field. We've got him out there because we know he's got the highest top speed. He's going to finish this one. The rest are heading back to the store in convoy. Take a cheeky little left here, up behind this billboard. JCB is almost done. Missing a few bits. And why has he stopped there? Anyway, who cares? He's done for all intents and purposes. Gonna get the roller out now and see if that makes any difference whatsoever. And for that, I'm going to be using the big New Holland here. I think it's perfect for the job. I just need to get myself turned around and hitched onto the roller just there. I'm going to head back down to that field that's just been finished, field 37 I think it was, switch places with the JCB and see if I can make that 2% up to hit 100%. The field 35, here we are. Let's get her unfolded and out onto the ground. Oh, she is pretty big, I must admit. That is sizable. Drop her down. Okay, let's give it a go. Alright, I've done a fair bit now. I'm just going to ease off and then go and check what that's actually done. Now, strictly speaking, in front of the tractor, 98% as you'd expect. If this has worked, we should see 100 behind it. I'm not confident, ladies and gentlemen, I must admit. I don't think this is going to make any difference, but here we go. Yeah, absolutely nothing whatsoever. Well, that's the whole point of experimentation. You win some, you lose some, and when we don't quite win, we learn by our mistakes. But for this thing, I just can't work out what it is, unless it's these stones, but I don't think that makes any difference at all. Anyway, I'm going to call that a day. It was a good attempt with the roller, and I do recommend that as a mod if you're interested. I'm going to get this folded back up, get back to the farm, because the next stage is harvesting. The sowing phase is complete. Welcome back to a little bit of an interlude before we get underway with harvesting. The fields are growing, everything is looking fantastic, lots of equipment here. But before we get our harvesters purchased and on order, all our headers and all that sort of stuff, I did promise myself I would give myself a little drive across the wiggly part of the map and out across that very long bridge. And I think in my mind there is only one vehicle for the job. This vehicle has 5,000 horsepower, goes up to 200 miles an hour, and drifts like an absolute god. Yes, my favourite, the T440. Engine on, power and purr. Let's ease ourselves out of here. The acceleration on this thing is unreal. Lamborghini, Ferrari, move over. This is what you need. So right in the central south quarter of this map, there is this lovely winding road. It comes off of the town here along this straight highway, and then it bears right, starts winding its way up, straightens out as you go through this complex. What have we got here? ethanol factory. Woohoo, alcohol, grain, whisk. It is. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that was there. Well, I definitely need to play this map then at some point in the near future. And beer. Oh my god, whiskey and beer. Anyway, goes straight through here, winds its way down the hill, and then finishes out on this. You can't quite see, only by the shadow, this very lovely dead straight viaduct straight down to the bulk supply. I am going to try and pick up as much speed as possible. I'm going to try not to kill myself in these bends, but the T440 is about to kick off. I'll keep the HUD up on the screen for you. We've got a maximum 210 on the clock. It will do 200. Now here's the turn coming up right now. Get the indicators on. Let anyone else know. Oh, I'm being overtaken. Oh, you have no idea, son. Oh, you're not going up there? Really? Okay, I'm going to let him pass. I'm going to let him get ahead because this is the start of the track. Now, this is much better done with the steering wheel. I do have a steering wheel, but I'm using my game controller. This could get messy very quickly, but it's 5 minutes of fun. Bear with me. Skip to the next bit if you're not interested. Let's get on with it. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Max power. Insane acceleration. We're up and round. We're already drifting. Mind that sign. Hairpin turn, hairpin turn. We've overcooked it. We've massively overcooked it. Back online, please. There we go. Gotta keep concentrating. Right here. Mind that car. Don't cause a death. Drifting again. Oh, we've overcooked it. Spun it out. Okay, we've got the straight bit coming up. Another Nebraska sign. Right, we can take a little bit of a breather here. I think we're going to catch up with the traffic. I need to turn hard. And I'm dead. Take 2, going through the straight, past the whiskey factory, past the beer distillery. Hard braking, brake into, power on when we come out. Here we go, power on, ease off. Oh, this thing is so fast. Here we go, sharp bend, power off, just cruising. It stops like you wouldn't believe. It's definitely got a engine retarder on this. You, son, are going to be right in my way. And foot down. Here we go. I hope nothing comes the other way, as we are off. This is insane. This was the vehicle I used in the last 2 experiments, and it doesn't half shift. 164, 65. Will I get up to 200 max? Get out of the way, I'm coming through. 193. I'm running out of runway and I've lost it. Oh my god, I've lost it. Well, I literally rocketed into the bushes here. I am dead. That is no mistake. There's no way I would have survived that. But that was an unbelievable amount of fun. Great mod, great vehicle. Pick it up, enjoy yourself. But let's get back to the experiment in hand. It's time for a harvest. One beautiful, stunning landscape. The ambers, the bronzes, the golds. Absolutely love this time of year. But the important thing is to check on our corn. It's October and I think we're ready. We are. This is field 1. It's time to go get those harvesters. Get the boys out in the field. We are almost there, ladies and gentlemen. We almost have our final result for covering the entire map with corn. I've purposely left the purchase of the Colossus Harvester until this very moment because I just want to take you through it. Here we go. This is an absolute behemoth. We're going to stick this on the Colossus Large Unrealistic 3 configuration, which gives us 1.25 million litres of storage. In all fairness, I don't think we're going to be doing many runs back and forth, and that is going to make a huge difference. For the engine, we could go with 900 horsepower. I mean, you'd argue that that's enough for anyone, wouldn't you? But no, we can push this up to 3,000 horses. That will give us a whopping 150 miles an hour with a harvester. That's insane. For wheels, we can go with the TerraTrack Wide, the TM900, which is basically a wheel, the dual TM900, triples, if we wanted to, TM900 XL, the twin forestries, the super single modified, which I must admit is quite sexy, Crawler Track 2, and then back to the TerraTrack. There are many options to choose from. There's also the option to change your sound profile. We have standard sound, ideal, or the John Deere New Series. I'm going to stick it on the John Deere. I think that's got a bit of a throatier sound if I remember rightly. EU, well, we can't have EU, can we? It's impossible. We're in Nebraska. It's got to be US. We can change beacons, we can change window tints, we can add brands as well if we want to. And of course, we've got all of our usual colour options. I'm not going to worry about any of that. I just want 6 of these bad boys out in the first 6 fields. We'll move them around as we've done with all the tractors and all the other equipment, and we're going to get everything in. And of course, we're going to need a header to go with that. So the Titan Corn header, unrealistic mode, 9 meters wide, 60 miles an hour. That's our header of choice. Now, I've talked about this before. We do have the option to go with an unrealistic working width. You can go 25 meters or 50. And if you do choose these, you can stick some guides on. However, I do like to try and keep things visually accurate, if that makes sense. So I'm going to leave it at 9 meters and we're going to order 6 of those. Well, the first one is ready, header on, let's get out of here. Wow, this thing is rapid. Rear wheel steering, this is not going to be easy. There we go, we'll just drift our way out of the store and onto the main road. I am looking forward to this. Now the guys are off and I've set everyone to 60 miles an hour, but I think it's too much. They are wiggling around like wiggly worms, and I'd rather them just be consistent. This one's at standard speed, lovely and straight, but if I whack that up to 60, it's going to be all over the place. Picking up speed, up to 60, you wait till we get to that corner. In fact, we've got some wobble going on already. Yeah, I just don't think it's efficient. Top speed is not always the fastest way to deal with things when using Courseplay. But that is some insane speed. You've got to give it to them. They are really shifting. My assumption is, once they get out on their straights, their ups and downs, then I think we'll see an improvement. At the minute, they're having to navigate around these windy fields, and every time they have to slow down and brake, they're just skidding. It's too fast. I've knocked everyone down to 40 miles an hour, but things are still quite janky. They are all over the show. You know what? I wanted to have a bit of fun. And this is an experiment. And at the end of the day, you guys want to see the tools that are available to you. So I've purchased myself another combine and just get myself backed up. I've purchased myself a header and I'm going to head out and deal with field 7 on my own. Now here we are. I just want to get kind of around the edge and somewhere fairly central to the bottom. The reason being is I have put on the 50-meter header. I want to see just how quickly I can do these fields. I have no perspective on how wide 50 meters is, so I'm just going to drop it and get going. Unfold the combine. And there we go. Now we are starting. You can see the 2 blue markers. That is wide. I've also got the max speed. So let's just go for it. Here we go. That is going to absolutely eat through this field. In fact, it's going so quick, we're leaving half the crop. Wowzers. That is rapid. I've tweaked the top speed down. I'm now doing 41 on the clock, and that seems to be the optimum speed to make sure we don't miss any crop, because as you can see we were going way too fast before, but given we've got 50 meters I'd rather slow down and get it in. Hold on, we've just missed a bit back there. I think when the ground's a bit bumpy it just can't handle it. If I cut myself right into here, no issues at all now, and that's what experiments are all about. Tweaking, learning, adjusting, doing it on the fly. Maximum results. And that is pretty much it. I'm just mopping up these final few bits just to make sure we've got everything out of this field. Bit tedious, but next time I will definitely set this down to 40 so I won't miss any on that first run. I am impressed. I have to admit, it's not for me. It's not how I would normally play the game. I prefer roleplay, survival. I prefer to make it as realistic as possible with some sort of storyline. But if you like to get through something as quick as possible and you like unrealistic, crazy mods, this is the one for you, the Colossus pack. So we're doing well. Field 2 is complete. Field 7 I've just done in about a quarter of the time it took Courseplay to do 2. The rest are underway. I'm going to shift 2 down to 8. I'm going to go handle 9. And I'm just going to crack on through the rest of these. There is no fast way of doing this off camera. I've literally just got to let it run behind the scenes. Well, I've been too busy shifting each of these different harvesters from one field to the next that I've completely neglected my carting duties. There are many, many combines sat waiting for me, and I've got to get out there and get them unloaded. This one's done but has absolutely no idea where to go next. Even my shiny red devil is full. Oh my goodness, everybody is waiting on me. This one's full and finished. It couldn't get any worse. And another one, and another one. So I've gone and purchased one of the very, very large trailers that you get within a Colossus pack. And by large, I mean capacity. This thing will hold 5 million litres, although it's only a diddy little trailer. I've picked up 3 because I think that's all we're actually going to need. So I'll get the John Deere hooked up, the case and the New Holland. And I'll get myself out there and do a bit of karting. Goodness me, there are a lot of flashing vehicles across the screen. In fact, I would say almost everyone. No, it is actually everyone. So they're either full or they are very close to being full. Let's start and keep things in order. Number 3 needs it. I'm going to go there. Now, one advantage of them actually stopping is that they won't move. I've got that set in Courseplay. So he should wait now until he's empty, which is great because I will never be able to keep up with these guys with these tractors. Perfect. I don't really have any idea where this one is. I think he might be up and over the brow of this hill. Got a feeling he's come round this way. Ah, is that him over there? He's right on the other side. I'm going to have to head all the way around. Just coming round, and there he is. So I'm going to swing around the other side and we'll get him unloaded. Right, can I do this first time? Right, let's clear off these fields then, let them finish up, and I'll head over to the next guy. I think this is the last guy, the last one who needs my attention for the immediate future. Everyone else seems to be okay. Now you may have noticed the width of these headers. I did actually upgrade a couple of them to put them on the full 50 meters. It was just taking so long running everything behind the scenes. 3 of the original guys do still have the 9-meter header on, and that's absolutely fine. They're just picking up the small fields. It's got to be said, these wide headers with these super fast combines, it just creates a little bit of chaos. Tell a lie, there is one more. I'll just deal with him and then we should be okay. So this is how things are looking. An awful lot of the map has now been harvested. We just have a gaggle of fields left and those will be done very shortly. Red Devil is just starting field 39, the final field on this map. And I've got to say, it really isn't going to take long at all. And once my machine is finished, I will pick it up and I'll take it just to finish off these little bits that have been missed. We want to make sure we grab everything up, pieces here and here. And then we'll have our final figure. Here we go, this is one of those bits. I'm just using a random combine now. There we go, that's the first one done. The bit over here. Drift my way around that bend. Lovely job. Then there's another one here on field 11. Ooh. Too much there, too much. Let's just turn it down a tad. There we go, that's better. It's not always about speed, I said this earlier on. And these 3 are the only guys left, and if I'm right, these are all the 9-meter headers. So they're going to take a while. I'm going to get myself on field 31 and just give him a helping hand. Easy peasy, isn't it? Absolutely easy peasy. I have no idea how much we've got. I know how many trailers worth. I also know roughly how many combines are out there, but I have no idea how much is in each, and I have no idea how much corn is currently selling for. One hell of a view from inside the cab. No idea. Just pushing on. Those trees are getting awfully close in the screen though. Gonna have to get my brakes ready. Ah, there we go. Sorry mate, I'm nicking it, it's all mine. Catch you later. Everyone is here on the side of the road, their pipes are out. Whatever they've got left in their hoppers is going to be picked up by our 3 big tractors and trailers. We're going to head it all down to the silo, we're going to tip it off, and we're going to get our final figure for the amount of corn you can harvest in Green Valley, Nebraska. I'm here at the Green Valley Ranch, which I believe is your centre of operation when you play this map, although we haven't spent much time here at all. There are a load of grain silos to the right of me. We've got some additional ones to the left. I have no idea how much we need. I've purposely left off the HUD so you guys cannot see how much is in this trailer. I'm going to tip off. I'm going to get the rest together and we're going to start to gather our figures. Now we know these take quite a lot of corn, so I expect this to be tipping off for quite some time. That's a sign. This one is full. So we've filled the in-game silos already. That's going to go through this lovely dryer and process everything. That's fantastic, but I want to know how much we've got. I need to get everything into storage, so I'll start dumping off into these additional silos as well. Right, as we were then, that can tip off there. I am going to go grab up the other tractors and get them filled up with whatever's left in the combine hoppers. First one is empty. Moving on to the second. Second one's done. Number 3, empty. Get this lot tipped off and the case can come up behind and finish the job. Seems to be a little bit left in number 3, so we'll grab that off. Number 4's done. I'll head over to number 5. John Deere is offloading everything he's got. Not bad, not bad. Making my way in with the case as well. John Deere is still going. There's an awful lot in there. That's the case tipping off, not bad at all. We've got the John Deere, which is still going. Man, there's a lot in there. There is a lot in there. Only a touch in number 5, but I think there'll be more in number 6. Yes, a fair whack in number 6 here. I hadn't realised quite how many harvesters I've purchased. Moving on to the next one. You can get a bus through there, mate. Go on. Well, I'm going to go. If you don't want to drive, that's your fault. That's everything. I'll get this tipped off. And then we'll have our figures. And there we go. There's a lot of corn going in there. An awful lot of corn. It's been a great challenge, I must admit. This is a fantastic map, but I'm keen to get the answer. I want to know how much corn you can get out of this entire map, and more importantly, I want to know how many dollar bucks you can make. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment has arrived. Fields have been prepped, they have been cultivated, ploughed, limed, fertilised, seeded, harvested, and now we have the figures. Let's walk up to each of these silos, have a quick look at what's inside each. Inside this one, we have 4 million litres of corn. Inside silo 2, we have 5 million litres of corn. Silo 3 contains 2,009,814 litres of corn. And the fourth and final silo has 5 million litres of corn. Not forgetting, of course, we have some in our grain dryer here, and here we have an additional 1 million litres. So, ladies and gentlemen, entirely covering the Green Valley, Nebraska map with corn has given us 17,009,081 litres. But, Crimson, what is that in cold hard cash, I hear you shout? And you're very right to do so. That figure, if sold at the maximum price of $1,516, will net you $24,274,080 bucks. Thank you yet again for joining me on another epic experiment. I have a few more in the pipeline, so subscribe for that. For the rest of you Dusty fans, we will be returning to the valley. But until then, take care everyone. I'll see you real soon. Bye bye.